I can remember the exact fish that got me hooked in the sport of fishing. You know, I was probably about 10 or 11 years old, and we'd go on 2 summer vacations every year. One was to the Jersey Shore, one was to the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania. And my grandfather and my uncle were really the guys that got me started, but my grandfather, we called him Pop, had this green and gray 3-trade hip roof tackle box, the old style tackle box. And one thing Pop always says is, whatever you do, don't go in my box. Don't mess with my box. Yes, Pop. Yes, Pop. We always respected Pop. But it was like magic, and you couldn't keep out of that box. And you'd open it, it'd be like the holy grail of shiny things and lures in there. And up to that point, I had primarily just been a live bait fisherman. And I opened that box one morning, looked around, Pop was still sleeping, and out was this lure. It was this minnow bait. It was a 9S Rapala floating minnow, silver, black back. I had no idea what to even do with the thing. So I took off my snelled hook off the swivel, took the split shot off, and I put this minnow lure on the swivel. I walked out to the end of the dock, and remember, up to this point, the biggest fish I caught was probably a pickerel. And threw it out there, and I can remember watching it hit the water and the rings dissipate, and I reeled it a little, and I was amazed at this action of this minnow bait just under the surface. And I stopped it again, and it floated back up. And about that second when it floated up, about a 3-pounder just came unglued on it, on the top. To watch that bite, that visual of that strike. And up to that point, it was the hardest fish that's ever pulled back. Little Snoopy rod, whatever I had, it was fighting. I think I reeled it right up to the tip of the rod. I was so excited, I ran back to the cabin with a 3-pounder dangling off the tip of that rod. When I look back at that fish, that was the fish that hooked me in the sport of fishing. That's the reason that all these years later, I do this full time. You know, the excitement of that strike, the fight, all that really played into my psyche as a 10-year-old, and it changed my life, you know, that one bite. Talking about the guys that got me started, the reason that I'm doing this professionally, the reason I'm passionate about fishing, the reason I love the sport, it's not another professional angler, it's not a famous angler, it's my family. Specifically, you know, my uncle and my grandfather, my Uncle Don and my pop. You know, my father passed away when I was 2. So my uncle and my grandfather were really, they were my father figures. You know, I got to watch those guys from an early age fish and enjoy the sport. They're the ones that taught me the love for the outdoors. They taught me patience. They taught me strategy. They taught me all these amazing lessons in fishing that happen to also be great life lessons. You know, without those 2 guys, you know, I don't know where I'd be. I want to thank those guys, man, not only for teaching me how to fish, for getting me involved in the outdoors, but for teaching me a lot about life and made me a better person. So thank you guys, love you guys.